Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into a topic that I think you're really going to enjoy. Get ready for a deep dive into the world of attars and perfumes.
Ooh, I love it. Attars and perfumes.
Yeah, those incredible scents that have this power to, transport you to another place, or even, completely change your mood.
Yeah, totally.
Today, we're going to be exploring excerpts from the world of attars and perfumes. An introduction. Have you ever wondered what the difference is between attars and the perfumes you see, everywhere?
That's a great question. It opens up a whole world of history and incredible scents. Attars, actually, sometimes you might also hear them called Ittars. They have this long and rich tradition, especially in places like India, the Middle East, Persia. And what really sets them apart is that they're entirely natural perfume oils that come from plants.
So we're talking about things like flowers and herbs, spices and wood, right?
Exactly, all those amazing things that nature gives us.
Okay, I'm with you. But how do you go from those natural ingredients to attars that we can actually wear? Is it a complicated process?
It is pretty meticulous. Attars are made by distilling these botanical materials, and often sandalwood oil or other carrier oils are used in the process. Think of it like the carrier oil is like a canvas. It lets the attar's aroma kind of slowly unfurl. And sandalwood oil, which is a classic choice, it brings its own like calming and grounding properties. This is a big difference from your typical perfume you see on the shelves.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, those are usually alcohol-based.
So no alcohol in attars. Huh. That's interesting. I bet that really changes how the scent actually wears on you.
It does, absolutely. Without alcohol, attars are super long-lasting and they're gentle on the skin. They just don't evaporate as quickly, which lets the fragrance really linger and develop over time.
Okay, I am liking the sound of this more and more. I think, who doesn't love a scent that lasts, right?
Right.
Do you have a specific example of an attar that we can talk about? I want to know, what do these unique scents actually smell like?
Okay, so one of the most popular ones is Rue Gulab, which comes from rose petals.
Rue Gulab.
It's seriously like capturing the purest, most concentrated essence of rose you can imagine.
I can almost smell it now.
And it's not just a beautiful scent. In Ayurveda, Rue Gulab is associated with the heart chakra and like promoting emotional balance.
Oh, wow. So it's beautiful and has this deeper connection to well-being.
You got it.
So cool. Is that one a traditional attar, or is it something that's kind of become more popular recently?
It's definitely a classic. People have been using it for centuries in aromatherapy and traditional medicine. And it has this reputation for calming and uplifting properties. Some people even believe it helps reduce stress and anxiety and even improves skin health.
Really? I had no idea. It's amazing how much history is packed into one little bottle. Okay, so we've got roses. What's another example? I'm trying to get a sense of the range of scents that we're talking about here.
Okay, how about Midi Attar? This one's really unique. It captures the scent of rain-soaked earth.
Wait, what?
Rain-soaked earth?
I know, it sounds kind of strange, but it's incredibly grounding and evocative. Okay, mini attar, the scent of rain-soaked earth. That's not one I would have guessed. Is that one a popular attar?
Well, it's definitely a unique one. It's not going to be for everyone, but it does have a following, especially among people who really like those grounding, earthy scents. It's said to promote the sense of tranquility and even boost creativity.
Like a breath of fresh air for the soul, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got delicate floral notes of rue gulab and this earthy, grounding aroma of midi attar. It's quite a range already. But how do these attars compare to the perfumes we see in stores? Like the ones with all those top notes and middle notes and base notes and everything?
That's the question, isn't it? It gets to the heart of the difference between attars and these modern perfumes. You see, perfumes are almost like carefully constructed symphonies. They've got all these different notes that appear and fade as you wear them.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. So attars are
More like a single powerful melody. They usually have a single complex scent profile that unfolds over time. There's no need for those separate top, middle, and base notes because the whole fragrance is designed to be experienced together as one.
so it's like comparing, a composed orchestral piece to a solo on a single instrument. They're both powerful, but they're powerful in different ways, right?
Exactly. And where modern perfumes rely a lot on synthetic ingredients to create those complex layers, attars, they depend on the natural qualities of the botanicals themselves to create their unique scents.
That makes a lot of sense. So, okay, how do those master perfumers, or noses as they're called, how do they even begin to create these captivating blends? It all sounds so, intricate.
It really is a fascinating mix of science and creativity. You need a super refined sense of smell, a deep understanding of how all these different scents interact with each other, and a lot of experimentation.
I bet. I can only imagine, how many years of training it takes to develop that level of expertise.
Oh, for sure. A master perfumer might spend years, even decades, honing their craft. They have to be able to identify and isolate individual scents. They got to understand how those scents will change and develop over time, and then they blend them in very precise proportions to create the fragrance they're going for.
Wow, like composing a whole symphony of scent. Okay, so what kind of ingredients are we talking about here? Like rare and exotic stuff.
Well, some of the key players in attar and perfume blending are things like oud, musk, amber, and of course, all sorts of different floral extracts.
Okay, those are names that I recognize at least, but can we break those down a little bit more? I'm especially curious about oud. I've heard it's like a big deal in perfumery.
Oud is a fascinating one. It's this resinous heartwood that forms in certain species of Aquilaria trees when they get infected with a specific type of mold.
Huh. So it's like this beautiful thing comes out of this like almost like a disease process?
You could say that, and because it's rare and because the process of extracting the oil is so complex, oud is one of the most expensive perfume ingredients in the world.
Oh, wow. Makes sense. It sounds really precious.
It really is. Then you've got musk, which has this long and sometimes controversial history. Traditionally, it was actually derived from glands of musk deer.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah. Thankfully, synthetic alternatives are widely used now. Musk brings a warm, sensual, slightly animalistic note to fragrances.
Okay, I much prefer the idea of the synthetic musk.
Yeah, me too. Now, amber, it's a bit of a trickster, actually. What we call amber in perfumery is usually a blend of vanilla, benzoin resin, and labdanum. Together, they create this warm, sweet, slightly powdery scent. You actually won't find amber itself listed as an ingredient on most perfume labels.
So it's more like they're trying to recreate the feeling of amber, not actually using like the actual material.
Exactly. And then, of course, you've got the whole vast and colorful world of floral extracts, right?
Right, like so many possibilities.
Oh, tons. They can range from delicate rose and jasmine to heady tuberose and intoxicating lang lang. The possibilities for blending are endless.
Endless. It really seems like there's this incredible amount of creativity and artistry that goes into attar and perfume blending. Can you give me an example of how those ingredients kind of come together in a specific attar? I'd love to hear like how it actually works.
Okay, well, take Oud al Misk, for example. This blend combines the richness of Cambodian oud with the warmth of Himalayan musk. It creates a scent that's both exotic and really, really long-lasting.
Okay, that sounds like a powerful combination. So you've got this master perfumer, they're taking these seemingly completely different ingredients and they're weaving them together into this like harmonious and unforgettable fragrance.
That's it. And it all comes back to the idea that scents can evoke emotions and memories, you know? Think about how, like, a particular perfume can just instantly bring you back to a specific moment or remind you of someone you love.
It's the real magic of fragrance, isn't it? It's not just about, smelling nice. It's about creating a whole experience, telling a story, and connecting with something deeper within ourselves.
Beautifully said, and it seems like more and more people are starting to rediscover the allure of Attars. They're moving away from those mass-produced kind of generic scents and embracing something more unique and personal.
Yeah, it's about finding a scent that truly resonates with you, right? Something that speaks to you.
Exactly. Attars, they offer this wonderful alternative. They let you experience scents in their most pure form, connecting with this like rich history of perfumery that spans centuries and cultures.
I gotta say, I'm already feeling so inspired to explore this world of Attar with a whole new perspective. It's really eye-opening. We've covered the unique qualities of Attars, how they're different from those typical perfumes, and even touched on this idea that they're making a comeback. What do you say we move on to exploring some specific types of Attars and their uses? Like how are they actually used?
I think that's a great next step. Let's keep going.
We're back, ready for more of this deep dive. I'm already feeling inspired to explore this world of Attars with like a whole new perspective. I'm ready to dive into some specific examples. Where do we start?
Well, how about we revisit one of the most popular and versatile Attars? We touched on it earlier, Rue Gulab, the essence of roses.
Ah, yes. The queen of flowers. I can practically picture a lush rose garden, full bloom.
Rue Gulab is truly special. They make it by carefully distilling rose petals, and that's how they capture that, like, delicate but powerful aroma. It's known for its calming and uplifting properties.
And it's been used for centuries, right?
Yeah, for centuries in aromatherapy and traditional medicine.
I'm curious, is Rue Gulab considered a more traditional attar? Or is it more, like, modern?
Oh, it's definitely a classic. In fact, in Ayurveda, they associate it with the heart chakra and, promoting emotional balance.
That's incredible. So it's not just, like, a beautiful scent. It actually has therapeutic benefits.
Absolutely.
I'm starting to see why people have cherished Attars for so long. They're not just about smelling good, right? They're about like enhancing our overall well-being.
You got it. And every single attar has its own unique qualities and benefits. For example, remember Midi Attar, the scent of rain-soaked earth we talked about?
Oh yeah, that one really got me curious. I'm still trying to picture how you can capture the smell of earth in a bottle. It's kind of mysterious, isn't it?
It is, but they somehow managed to do it. Midi Attar is created by distilling, believe it or not, clay or baked earth. And that process, that's how they capture that like earthy, grounding aroma. You know, the one we associate with the first rain after a dry spell.
It's amazing what they can do with scent, right?
It is.
Speaking of, you know those times when you just catch a whiff of something and it brings back a memory?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It reminds me of this time I was in a market in Dubai, and the air was just thick with this incredible oud scent. It was intoxicating. Have you ever had an experience like that?
Oh, absolutely. Oud has this incredible power to like just transport you. And remember, it's not just one scent. It's like a whole category of fragrances. Remember we talked about how oud comes from the resinous heartwood of the agarwood tree?
Yeah, and it's super rare and expensive, right?
It is. There's a reason they call it the king of Attars. And there are so many nuances to oud. Like the scent can vary depending on the species of agarwood tree, you know, the region where it's grown, even the extraction process they use. All that can affect the scent.
It's kind of like wine. The terroir makes a difference.
You could say that. Different regions produce ouds with completely distinct characteristic. For instance, like ouds from India, they tend to be warm, earthy, slightly sweet, while ouds from Cambodia are known for their, well, rich, animalic, almost barnyard-like aroma.
Okay, barnyard-like might not be for everyone, but I get it. It's complex. There's diversity in oud scents, and I'm guessing there are different like grades of oud too.
You are right. The highest quality oud, they describe it as sinking grade because the resin is so dense it actually sinks in water.
Really? It sinks.
Yeah, it's like dropping a piece of resin in water and instead of floating, it goes straight to the bottom. That's how dense and potent its fragrance is.
That's wild. So this sinking grade oud, that's like the Grand Cru of the oud world.
Exactly. It's incredibly rare and people really prize it for that intense, complex, long-lasting aroma.
That makes sense. It sounds like a real treasure.
It is, and because of how rare it is and how complex the oil extraction process is, pure oud oil can be crazy expensive, like more expensive than gold in some cases.
Wow, that really puts it in perspective. It's like liquid luxury. And I bet there are tons of different oud Attars out there.
You bet. Countless variations. You find pure oud oil, and you also find ones where it's blended with other fragrant ingredients to create like unique and complex scents.
So you might find like oats blended with rose, sandalwood, musk, amber, or maybe spices like saffron and cardamom.
Exactly. The creativity that goes into attar blending is pretty remarkable. It's like this blank canvas for perfumers to create their masterpieces.
And it's amazing to think that behind every bottle, there's all this history, all this artistry. It's not just a fragrance, right? It's a whole story, a cultural legacy, a testament to how powerful scent can be.
You've got it. Attars give you this unique window into different cultures and traditions. They connect us to those ancient rituals and practices, the ones that have been passed down for generations.
This whole deep dive is really making me want to learn more about Attars. Do you have any advice for someone who's just starting out, like on their Attar journey? What should I be thinking about?
Well, I'd say the best way to approach Attars is with an open mind and a sense of adventure. Don't be afraid to try new scents and see what speaks to you. There's a whole world of olfactory delights out there waiting to be discovered.
A whole world. I love it.
And remember, Attars are meant to be savored, enjoyed slowly. You just need a tiny drop to create a lasting and beautiful aura.
So it's like quality over quantity. You got to appreciate those subtle nuances.
That's it. It's a mindful approach to fragrance. It's a way to connect with ourselves and the world around us, all through the power of scent.
This has been an incredible journey so far. We've learned so much from like the basics of Attars, how they're different from perfumes, to specific examples like Rue Gulab and Midi Attar and that fascinating world of oud. I feel like we're just scratching the surface though.
We are. There are so many more Attars to explore, each with its own unique story and fragrance profile. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's kind of wrap up what we've learned about Attars today. What do you think? Do you think Attars are going to be more popular in the future?
You know, as we're wrapping up this deep dive into Attars, I keep thinking about this. What does this resurgence of Attars tell us about, like, how our relationship with scent is evolving? Are we all craving these, like, more natural, more authentic experiences, maybe?
That's a really interesting question. I think you might be onto something there. In a world that, like, so saturated with synthetic products, with all these trends that come and go, Attars offer us something different. A sense of grounding, connection, a sense of timelessness, maybe. They remind us of the power of nature, the beauty of tradition, and how deeply scent can affect our well-being.
I think that makes a lot of sense. It's not just about, like, smelling good. It's about something more. Finding a fragrance that, like, really resonates with you, that connects you to this, like, rich history of scent, this thing that spans cultures and
I
generations.
think so too. Attars, they kind of invite you to slow down a bit, to savor all those subtle nuances of fragrance, to really appreciate the artistry, the craftsmanship that goes into every single bottle. It's like a more mindful way to approach perfume.
Yeah, it aligns with, like, people's values, their desire for something more authentic and connected in their lives.
Exactly. I actually believe this renewed interest, this appreciation we're seeing for Attars, it's just the beginning of a much bigger movement, a movement towards, those natural, sustainable products and experiences, the things that enrich our souls.
That's exciting to think about. I can totally see that happening. People are looking for things that are real, that are natural, that have meaning. And Attars offer all of that and more, don't they?
Absolutely. Attars represent a return to tradition. They represent this connection to nature. And they're a mindful way to experience fragrance. These are all things that really resonate with what people value these days.
And it's incredible when you really think about it. I mean, maybe we'll see Attars becoming part of even more parts of our lives, like aromatherapy, skincare, even like home migrants.
Yeah, why not? The potential is huge. Imagine a world where we're using the power of scent to enhance our well-being, to inspire creativity, to foster a deeper connection with nature and even with ourselves.
I love that vision. And who knows, maybe one day we'll all have our own like signature Attar blend, right? Reflecting our unique personalities, improving our lives in all sorts of ways.
Wouldn't that be amazing? A world where scent is like this form of self-expression, a way to share our stories, connect with each other on this deeper, more meaningful level.
It really has been fantastic learning about Attars with you today. I feel like this deep dive has like seriously opened up a whole new world for me.
It's been my pleasure. I hope you continue to explore, to discover the magic of all these amazing scents out there.
Oh, I definitely will. And to everyone listening, remember, the world of scent, it's vast, it's always changing. So keep your senses open, stay curious, and be ready to be moved by the beauty and the power of fragrance. Until next time, may your days be filled with wonderful scents and exciting new